right, hello. Welcome to the Hold My Helmet Football Podcast. I'm your host, Will Reichling.
And I'm your co-host, Dylan Boyle.
Welcome back, Dylan. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone had a fun holiday season. We had a lot of football going on, Christmas, New Year's Eve. We had it all for New Year's Day, though, so we didn't have any football on Monday. But Saturday, we had Lions Cowboys, the evenly matched game that we've been talking about basically all season, Dylan. And it was pretty evenly matched. 2019 final score. The Lions, in my opinion, had many chances to win that game. We'll get into the referee. I'm just as confused as everyone else. I guess the refs screwed up. Now they suspended them for the playoffs. So I guess something happened here where the refs clearly screwed up. The Lions probably got screwed here.
They did.
How do you feel about the whole situation?
We'll get right into it.
Yeah.
Listen, they were in the huddle, and Goff went right up to Decker, and he pointed at the ref. So you can see Goff went up to the guy that was supposed to catch the ball, and he told him, go to the ref, go tell him you're eligible, and that's exactly what he did. He was standing there with another lineman, and basically, I think this is really all on the ref. If you're not sure, then you have to clarify. You got to make sure you know exactly what's going on, what receiver's eligible, and it's really all on the ref at that point. Obviously, the ref did make a mistake. Like you said, they are not going to be in the playoffs anymore. They were downgraded, and they're I wouldn't say suspended, but they took them out of the playoffs. They're not going to be reffing any playoff games, as they should, because that's kind of just a rookie mistake. I get what the Lions were trying to do. They were trying to make it seem like which guy they were making eligible. Clearly, they said it on the speaker who was going to be eligible.
Well, that's the whole problem here. They announced a different number on the speaker.
Yes.
And maybe that played a little part into why the guy was so open. They didn't expect for him to be running a pass because they didn't call him eligible. But the refs clearly screwed up here. You saw 68 go up to the ref, and then they didn't announce 68. Maybe the line should have raised a flag when they didn't hear 68. Still, regardless, the ref should be on that. It's the ref's fault. The refs kind of screwed the Lions here. But we can't always say the refs screwed the Lions, because in the second quarter, they instead of going for the field goal, they went for the fourth down. They didn't get it. They could have won the game if they had that extra field goal. That happens. They had the fake punt early in the drive, and they should have taken their luck there. Because I thought, at their own 27-yard line, they went for that fake punt, and at that point, I'm like, wow, you got really lucky there. Take the points, take what you can get, and they played with faith. They played Russian roulette. They played too much with their luck, and it backfired. And so they had another position to win that game there. They technically got the 2 points, and they would have won. Mm-hmm. Did they get screwed? Yes, but they had other opportunities to win.
Well, listen, that's just who these Lions are. That's what they do. They're an aggressive team, and they're gonna go for it on 4th and 1 or whatever the situation is. They'll do these trick plays here and there, but that's just who they are.
I understand. Doesn't mean I always have to agree with it.
No, you don't.
But I see both sides of it, because people are like, okay, well, the Lions, they're going to be in the playoffs. You know that. So what do they have to lose, really? You want to go overtime, risk injury to your players, go for the win. But my thing was, they did have a shot for the 1 seed. Now, It turns out that wouldn't have happened even if they won, that they would have gotten the 1 seed, but still, they had a shot. You have a shot. You take the points there. You go to overtime, especially after it gets called back the first time. I understand to a certain extent going for it the first time, being aggressive, but then all the momentum shifted once that penalty was called. And you go for, what was that, their own 7, the second time they went for it. Then there's another penalty, and I can see why they went for it the third time again. You're already in too deep at that point, and you had a better shot than the second time, so go for it, yeah. But the second time I didn't agree with.
Well, the second time, Goff kind of didn't really take advantage of it. You have a guy off sides, and he just throws an interception. Yeah. A dumb throw.
And it wasn't even into the end zone. It was before the end zone. That's the whole point. If you get an offsides, you take a shot. Exactly. It would have not been... I guess he knew that he would have had another shot. I don't know.
It was a dumb decision.
Weird sequence of events. But Dallas, too. The driver before that, Dak, throwing the ball 60 yards out of bounds when you should just run the clock. What do they do in Dallas sometimes? They continue to do this. So, it's this game was kind of a game of who do you trust less, honestly. And I don't know. It could go either way if they play it again.
Absolutely. Honestly, I feel like the Lions deserve this game more. They played a better game.
I agree.
Their run game was better. Goff was slinging it down the field. Don't get me wrong. Dallas had their game too.
I think Dak made clutch plays late. That touchdown, the Cooks was a very clutch touchdown. Yes. The Cooks towards the end of the game. So Dak made some big throws again in this game. Again, I just don't understand why their final drive, they decided to launch it 60 yards. Well, I don't know why McCarthy even draws up a pass play there. The Lions only have one timeout left. You got to drive the whole length of the field. You have the best kicker in the league who hasn't missed a field goal yet. Run the clock, kick the field goal. I don't know what they're trying to do. They got a little too cute yet again.
Too cute.
That's I don't. Dak too. You should know. Don't. Eat clock. Dak should know this too.
Go for the, you're a running quarterback, so, step out the pocket, just slide, run the clock.
I do think Dallas might still be. I think Dallas is still the better team, but just between the two of them, Dak and McCarthy, sometimes make me scratch my head. I don't know. Sure. Yeah. What do you think? As far as where this stands, they're both making the playoffs. I mean, this might have helped Dallas' chance to win their division now. This is kind of huge for Dallas in a way, because now the Eagles lost. I don't think anyone thought the Eagles were going to lose to the Cardinals. That happened. Now Dallas has a big chance of winning their division.
They do. I mean, listen, if these two play off in the playoffs, I can definitely get the Lions for this one.
I don't disagree. I think the Lions could easily win if they played again. I mean, they almost won this game, essentially. I mean, they technically won this game. I mean, it looks like...
At heart... I really give it to the Lions for this one.
Well, I get why, because they suspend the refs right after it happened, so it just shows that they were kind of that they know that they were wrong to some extent. So yeah, it kind of was a little bit of a rip-off job, but hey, it happens, man. We know nothing's going to change. We know the refs suck. It's this game didn't really affect the consequences to anything, so let's just move on. I mean, there's no reason to sit here and harp over it.
Real quick, do you think it was a smarter decision to go for it and end the game, or to kick the field goal?
I would have went for the points the first time too.
I think what they were getting at is, their offense was out there long enough. Dak was heating up. I mean, I
don't think they trusted their defense, but still,
that's what
anything could happen. You could have gotten the ball first in overtime. I just, it's part of Dan Campbell's nature to go for it there. Mm-hmm. I don't hate it the first time that they went for it. The first time before the penalties, also ensued after that. I didn't hate it. The second time I hated it. I'm like, what are you doing? Now you're just being stupid and you're just trying to be stubborn. It's like they're trying to stick it to the refs in a way, Campbell. I love Campbell. I think he's a great head coach. Got a little too emotional there, but it's okay. They're still in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That was probably the craziest part. That ending was a great game, though. Way
to end the game.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's get into not so good of a game. The Baltimore Ravens destroying yet another good team. Yeah. They completely dismantling the Dolphins.
This is their theme. They're just good at, once they got the pedal on the gas, they just keep it going.
They don't take it off. No. And last season, Tua, Miami had that crazy comeback against Baltimore in the fourth quarter. That didn't happen this game. And Justice Hill had a great game. Justice Hill came to play.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter which running back gets hurt. The next one just steps up. The next one steps up.
Yeah. And you got the tight end too, Isaiah Likely going off too.
I think you really should consider next season. Do you need Mark? I don't know when Mark Andrews' contract is up, but this guy's clearly
you could trade him and get something
exactly.
Good for him.
If I'm not sure if the contract's up, but if it's not, you should do that. Absolutely good.
You want to hear something weird about his receptions? So he had 2 receptions and 2 touchdowns. So every pass he caught, he went running for a touchdown.
Yeah, I know. And one of them was the one-handed on 4th down. Lamar slinging it, slinging it as he's moving left, man. I mean, Lamar has really become. I keep saying this every week. He's really improved. If you don't think Lamar Jackson's a good quarterback, you don't know football, because this guy's improved as a passer. I mean, I know a lot of people want to bring up, I want to see them do something in the playoffs. I think this season's different because when Lamar dominated a few seasons ago when he won MVP and they got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, he wasn't as developed as a passer as he is now, Lamar Jackson. He's really developed. Sure. He reads the field a lot better than he used to, and it's the threat of him gonna run. It's just the fact that the defense knows that he could take off at any time. That's the real threat. Yeah, and that he chooses when he does it.
The reason why this team is so dangerous is, yes, you have Lamar back there, but you don't know if you're gonna run with Gus Edwards or Justice Hill.
Exactly,
two great backs.
That read option, who's gonna keep? Is Lamar gonna keep it? Is he gonna hand it off? That's the whole point.
And then you also have weapons on the tight ends. You have weapons as wide receivers. You just don't know where they're gonna. They can go. They can beat you anywhere.
And sometimes they do a fake run. And the teams bite so hard because they're just so scared of Lamar running. And then Zay Flowers wide open. Justice Hill wide open. Zay Flowers wide open.
You know what I noticed?
Odell with a great catch.
Every one of their long passes, the guys are wide open.
I know, it's great scheming. It really is. But Lamar also reads he goes through his reads. It's not like he's just staring one guy down. Yeah. And he's made some really tight throws in that game too. And Miami, it's funny because they scored 70 points and they let up 56 too. So it's
it is pretty funny.
Speaking very highly of their defense. You even said coming into this game, this could be the AFC Championship game. Do you still believe that?
It could be.
Early take on that.
I really don't take. I don't take much of this from the Dolphins. The Ravens, they're hands down. They're definitely going to the Super Bowl. My take, they're definitely.
It's their year in the AFC. It's their year.
There's not a team that They've gone up against every good team and beat them.
It's really now or never, too.
Them out.
It's really now or never, too, because Lamar's contract, I'm not sure if it kicks in this year, but I'm pretty sure the cap number goes up next season.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to start paying, eventually you're going to have to pay players like Likely, Flowers. Not yet.
Listen.
That's why it's good that you have other players in rookie contracts.
Exactly.
But now you're going to have to pay, you paid Lamar, and
you have all these other players that are coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And listen, you can easily trade some of them, get some other players in there.
Yeah.
You can do a lot.
Maybe trade one of these running backs in the offseason. You got 4 of them. I mean, if one of them stays
it's got to
healthy.
be like a little bit of a disguise because it works really well with the Ravens, but how well is it going to work with another offense?
That's very true. It's because of the fear of Lamar running that they bite so hard on Lamar that the other guy, when they hand it off to Justice Hill or Gus Edwards or even Jacob Dobbins, they were still biting on Lamar. So it would kind of be like they'd be faked out in the way. They'd be playing so loose on the running back because they were biting so hard on Lamar. But anyway.
Well, I think I just want to say this game really solidified MVP for Lamar.
Lamar
for sure.
Jackson is
I think
the MVP.
100% he's going to be
Lamar Jackson is the MVP of the league.
Yes.
I don't think it's a question anymore.
If anybody else gets it, I will be shocked.
And I don't even want to hear people say stats. His stats aren't good. Did you see him? Well, he had like 5 touchdowns this game, 5 touchdown passes. He's been great. Okay,
yeah, for sure. And there's some games like you don't have to do that, and that's just fine as long as you win and.
That's a lot of their wins. His numbers don't always look good in the stat sheet, but he always looks good playing. If you watch him play, he dominates, even when his numbers don't look good. But the bigger question now, Dylan, Miami next week plays Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football for the AFC East.
That's going to be a really interesting game.
First take on that. You don't have to give your predictions, just initial thoughts.
I mean, this is just going to be a lot of fuel for them. They just lost to one of the best teams. I still think the Dolphins are a really good team.
So do I.
What's his name? The other Achan. He's been going off.
He had a really good game.
He had a great game this year.
Yeah, Mostert was hurt, right?
Yeah. So you still have a lot going for you. Tyreek Hill is still one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Top 3.
Tua did make some mistakes, but you.
That's the problem. Really that's the big problem. When he's trailing, teams know he's going to throw and he gets pressure a little bit. He's going to struggle.
Okay, so that's perfect because he's going against a quarterback that does the same exact thing. Josh Allen has 16 interceptions this season.
I agree.
That's ridiculous.
I get what you're saying, but in a way, Josh Allen is kind of asked to carry his team more than Tua is. Tua has Tyreek Hill. Where's Stephon Diggs been the past couple of weeks? I mean, I think he was a little better last week, but hasn't he kind of disappeared in a way? It's kind of been
it's not really all that. I mean, they have they got Gabe Davis.
And the tight ends are pretty. The tight ends are pretty good.
2 elite tight ends.
So that's going to be a great game for sure. And the biggest take I have from with that game for Sunday Night Football is great scheduling by the NFL, setting that game up for the last week of the season. Yeah. They kind of predicted this in a way that
they did this all last week.
The Dolphins were always going to play the Bills this week though at the same time. So they knew. They knew something was going to matter. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That is pretty fun.
Yeah, exactly. So good scheduling. We'll talk about next the Cardinals and Eagles, just because of how impressive the Cardinals were and how terrible the Eagles' defense was. It was just pathetic.
Yeah, I've said it before. This is going to be the downfall of the Eagles.
It is.
You could only put up 31 points and expect your defense to do so much.
Exactly. Can you even blame the offense? They put up 20. What did they put up? They had a pick 6, so they put up. They put up 24 points on offense because they had the pick 6. That's still, that should, with a solid defense, that should win you some games. But this Eagles defense awful. They had a good first half. The Cardinals were down 21-6 at the half. Kyler Murray in the second half lit it up. Then they scored 4. They didn't score touchdowns on 5 straight drives or 4 straight drives in the second half. Kyler Murray and James Conner, when he's healthy, he is still a difference maker. Yeah. That one-handed touchdown catch, James Conner had a day. Is still in it. And think about it. The Cardinals aren't that far off. They have some weapons on offense. James Conner, they have Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore, Greg Dortch. I'm forgetting some pieces. And Trey McBride's been really coming on as a really good tight end. All you gotta do is get one more top-notch receiver, and you're not that far off. The real issue is defense. Their defense isn't that good. Buda Baker, and I don't really know much else back there. They're gonna have to work on the defense in the offseason, but they're not that far off. They're not gonna get the number 1 pick because the Bears have it locked now with the Panthers locking up the worst record. So I would keep Kyler Murray.
So I was about to ask you think they're going to keep him?
Yes, I would keep him. He's shown. Has he not shown it, Dylan? Come on.
And if he hasn't shown it for this team, he's shown it for another team.
Exactly. Yes. But what do you think they do? What do you think they should do, and what do you think they do? Is it the same?
So what? They don't even have what? They have the 5th, 4th.
I don't know now. I'm not sure.
I think they're 4 and 11.
Top 5, something like that.
They have top 5, but I don't think there's anything really worth getting right now. So yeah, you probably just have to stick it out with Kyler.
And I don't think that's a bad option because,
It's not.
I said, they have
games.
Exactly.
I mean, even before Kyler came back, they were winning games.
Well, they only won one game. They've won what 3? I'm pretty sure they've been about
They beat
500.
the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was it though.
I mean, but they stay in. It's not like
they've won 3 since Kyler got back. That's the whole point.
And they don't get blown out. Arizona hasn't been a team that gets blown out either.
The only time they do though is because of their defense.
Yeah, exactly. So their defense holds up to a point.
They were competitive early in the season. Then they started to be a little leaky. Like the Rams blew them out. They had a couple of blowouts, but they are competitive. But Kyler Murray just adds that difference, and they're in every game because of him. Because they only won one game without him. Yes, they were competitive, but they only won one game. I think pretty sure they're 3-4, 3-5 since he came back. They are hovering around 500. They're a different team, and they don't have a lot of talent on defense. They're not a good defensive team. So the fact that Kyler's kind of kept them in these games is impressive in itself, in my opinion. What about the Eagles? I don't think the offense was the problem today. The only thing is A.J. Brown, I'm pretty sure, hasn't scored a touchdown in like 4 or 5, 6 games, something like that. I'm pretty sure you feel it because you have him in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, he went like 5-6 weeks in a row getting over 100 receiving
before
yards,
that. And it kind of cooled down since, right?
Yeah.
So Goddard's kind of picked it up since he came back, and they've still been scoring points. Like I said, scored 24. They had the pick 6, but something's off, and it's clearly the defense. The defense is terrible. It's the defense. It's the Jalen Hurts. I think the bigger question is, was last year Jalen Hurts' best year? Like, is that the best it's going to get? But I think he's fine. But I think that's a little much. That's a side question in like the back of your head. You're kind of like, I don't know. Was this a kind of a fluke thing last year? I don't think so. But that's something that's on the side for now. The main issue right now is the defense. But I still think Jalen Hurts is going to be an elite player in this league. He's having a down season. This was expected. You lost both your coordinators. You lost pieces on the defense. This was expected.
Well, yeah, I think it's strictly on the
Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, Super Bowl hangover. But yeah, losing your offensive coordinator, that's a big thing.
It is.
You kind of you're going through a whole all different motions, different play calling.
Exactly.
And it takes time for you to learn that stuff. And I don't know. I think Jalen Hurts is still a really good quarterback, and I still think they need like a year or two, get things straightened up on defense, and they can be right back in it. But yeah, I don't think it's their year.
It's not the year. They're going to get knocked out in a few rounds.
So same thing with Mahomes and the Chiefs,
exactly right. Both the Super Bowl teams,
but on the opposite spectrum, like they
offense.
Yes, they need to start working.
Their defense has been great this season. The Chiefs, but anyway, good point though. The 2 Super Bowl teams, great point though. 2 Super Bowl teams, both down years, probably not their year to win a Super Bowl. But let's move on to Packers Vikings, and you were very high on Jordan Love coming into the season. I kind of roasted you. I roasted him. Said, clearly, they see something we don't. If they haven't we haven't seen any practice footage of him. We haven't heard about him. Clearly, they knew something we didn't because they held on to him. They held on. They were patient with him.
I knew something you didn't.
He's got 30 touchdown passes this season. That's something impressive. A top 12 quarterback does. And I've seen him make some throws off his back, slinging it, running around. He's got some special arm talent, man.
Absolutely.
So
I completely agree with that.
He's earned himself another 2-3 years.
He definitely has. I think he just gets some more targets around here. I don't know. I think Aaron Jones is kind of coming to the end of his career.
He is. And Aaron Dillon had a very disappointing... AJ Jones, Aaron Dillon. I'm kidding.
Same people.
Very disappointing season Aaron Dillon had. A.J. Dillon. I did it again. A.J. Dillon had a very disappointing. He only had like 3.2 yards per carry, pretty sure. Very low clip. Just disappointing.
I think they just need to reload on running backs. You saw what the Lions did, man. You saw what they did.
I thought getting rid of Swift was going to be stupid, but Montgomery coming in fit in perfectly for the Lions.
Maybe bring in Zeke in and get somebody off the draft, and you'll be hanging.
No, that's a good point. Dalvin Cook was just dropped. Who picks him up?
Yeah,
let's actually get into that really quick. Dalvin Cook was released by the Jets. Who snags him? I heard Dallas in there.
Yeah. That's interesting. Do you think it's going to be within this season?
I think the Jets dropped him to be nice, so a playoff team could pick him up. He's still got fresh legs. Green Bay could be an option here. Dallas is a good one. How about Miami? Did want him before the season started. Now Achane kind of came on though. Would Miami be possible?
I don't think that's their main concern right now.
Who do you think he would go to?
I think it would fit really well with Green Bay. You kind of take AJ Dillon out. You have a mix of him and Aaron Jones, and I think you can get something going there.
To me, it screams Dallas, Dallas, Dallas. You need someone that can run in between the tackles.
Dallas,
you need someone that. I know Dalvin Cook was shifty year back in his prime, but you need someone that can run in between the tackles. I think Dalvin Cook can do that, and I think he adds a nice change of pace with Tony Pollard, and that could make your offense more effective. So
absolutely, I think that, like I was saying before, like they're missing a key piece, and that's the running game.
Maybe
they don't really have much. Like
maybe losing Zeke was bigger than we thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's kind of been decent on the Patriots. He's had his moments.
He's
lost some weight. He hasn't looked bad though. He hasn't been bad this season. But let's move on.
I mean, the whole Patriots team have been bad.
Well,
it's hard to focus on one.
That's the thing. The fact that Zeke is probably their most promising player just says it all. You know what I mean? But the Packers, they win, they're in. And spoiler alert, I think the Packers will make the playoffs. But we'll get into that soon. The Vikings, I guess they hate Josh Dobbs. They bench Hall, whatever his name is. They go to Nick Mullins again, and I guess.
And then Nick Mullins got taken out the second half. Yeah.
They didn't go to Dobbs though, right?
No.
Why? What is with them? And I don't get it. I really don't.
I don't know. He probably just has too big of a brain for them. I mean, listen, he was doing just fine on Arizona.
I know. I guess he
looked good.
Yeah, but again, they did win one game. You know.
Yeah.
So
and I've said it before. You know, once you don't have a lot of footage on them, it's kind of hard to figure them out. But once
get footage, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's basically pretty much what happened here. But you actually wanted to get into this game, so I put a little bit of high priority just for you, Dylan. Bengals Chiefs. It was close. Bengals kept it interesting, and the receivers again right before the half, Valdez-Scantling with a huge drop.
Yes.
These are the things that kill teams. And I know everyone wants to say Mahomes is making excuses. This is just killing him, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like, what do you do with him? Do you drop him after the season?
MVS, he's got to be gone.
He's got to be gone.
2 years in a row, he's been extremely disappointing.
I mean, I don't know, because we saw what happened with Evan Ingram, like on the Giants. He would be dropping the ball left and right. He had more drops.
But he showed way more promise than MVS.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know. MVS kind of has like
with Rodgers, he had moments on Green Bay, but since he's gone to the Chiefs, last year he had some big games, like here and there. This year he's been non-existent.
I feel like he could be good on another team, honestly.
Maybe
as like a number 2, number 3. You know,
he needs to be a number 3 or a 4. Like him, I think right now they're trying to rely on him too much as a 2, and I think he's just got the yips a little bit with the drops. A lot of receivers on this team are. I think a lot of receivers on this team are feeling the pressure now. Tony, Rondale Moore. Sky Moore, not Rondale Moore. Yeah. I'm confusing first names today, but Justin Watson. A lot of them have the yips. I feel like
I didn't really see much of Kadarius Toney in this game.
No, I didn't.
Are they fading him now?
I guess so. I just maybe the matchup of this game didn't require his skill set. I don't know.
Even on special teams, like Richie Jam was returning punts.
I know. Weird.
I really didn't see him much out
Weird. Maybe they're not
he's like a key player. Like
maybe they're not liking how the vibes are turning out with his work ethic, or it just could have been a matchup thing. Could have just been they didn't like the matchup.
It could have. Yeah.
Sometimes that's how it works.
This is a repeat of the AFC Championship. So this is. I feel like this should have been a lot better than it was.
Well, Bengals are eliminated now after this game.
So this was like winning your. This wasn't a win you're in. They still had a win a following.
The Bengals, right? Yeah. No, this was not a win you're in situation. But Jake Browning kind of the story kind of is over. I think he showed a lot this season though.
He's going to be a great backup. I mean, maybe somebody takes a fly on him.
I would rock it out with Burrow though. You got a good situation here. You know the system. Rock it out for a year or two. Maybe when get a big contract. I don't know. He's probably thinking big contract now. That's what I would be.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're losing Mixon, you losing T. Higgins.
Yep.
So I don't know. They got to make it work. I don't know if next season is kind of like, okay, we're like reloading, but I don't know. Maybe Joe Burrow, he gets back into it. I don't know. I don't like how he started the season. I'm just saying.
I know he was like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
What he did last season, like he just has to get things going.
He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league in the beginning of the season. Joe Burrow. They picked it up. They beat the Niners. They really got momentum going, and then that Bengals Ravens game out for the season. Unfortunately.
Well, I want to get into the Chiefs real quick. I mean, the only reason why they've been getting things going this week is because they started running the ball. They can't really leave it all on Mahomes because
I agree.
You got to get something going because if you leave it just up to Mahomes, he has to trust his receiver. The only receiver you can trust here is Rasheed
Rice, who really actually looks like a really good player.
Yes, he does. He's definitely going to be.
He's carrying the load a little bit here.
But then again, you have to have other players
participating. I know.
I think
you
can actually trust. And like I was saying. Last week, when they got destroyed by the Raiders, you know how many yards Pacheco had? He had 26 yards.
I did notice he wasn't involved much.
This game, he had 127 yards. No, he had 130 rushing yards. So that's just the key difference here. You really got to get Pacheco going. He's a key playmaker in this offense.
I think he's arguably their second or third most important player on that offense.
Sure.
When you get him going, they've become a run-first offense. They should be a run-first offense with the lack of weapons at receiver.
Yes.
Do you have to ride this guy? And Pacheco, he runs like a wild zombie in Call of Duty. movie.
Yeah.
He runs like he's gonna kill someone.
Absolutely. I mean,
oh man, it's scary.
Even on the even as a receiving back too. I mean, he had 7 receiving receptions this game,
which is unlike him.
It is.
Yeah,
he's weird because last week he had 4 receptions for 0 yards.
It's like the Kamara act.
Yeah, like the Kamara act. That's
funny.
So funny. But yeah, you just got to get things going up through the running game, and then they could maybe get things going. Because I don't know, before this they really weren't looking that good, but this game they were looking a lot better.
Definitely better for sure. So Steelers at Seahawks, and are they going with Mason Rudolph over Kenny Pickett? Have they announced that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
They are. And
I will say that Mason Rudolph has shown me more in 2 games than Kenny Pickett has all
whole
season. Crazy.
Exactly.
See, I wasn't sure. I thought I read that, but I just wanted to confirm with you. They're going with Mason Rudolph. And Kenny Pickett's healthy?
Yeah.
Is he fully healthy?
Last week he could have came back too.
Okay. Are they making
Mason
excuses
Rudolph.
though, saying that they want to wait for him to be right?
The article I read, it was like they're going with Mason Rudolph over a healthy Kenny Pickett.
Wow.
And it's crazy. It kind of stirs up a lot of questions because Mason Rudolph has had good 2-3 games.
But he's failed in the past though too. Yes, let's not forget.
But let's go back to all the other quarterbacks. All these listen, we had like 7 or 8 quarterbacks that are out for the season. More than half, maybe like 3/4 of them played really good in their first couple games, and then you kind of see a steady decline with them.
So do you think it's going to happen here?
It could be. I don't think
this game. Does it happen in this game?
Do they just stick with him because of the momentum he's doing?
Yeah,
really
that's
good?
absolutely. I love this. You have to, man.
And
this is the best your offense has looked.
Yes, and
have they put up 30 points all season? I don't think they have.
No, I think last week they put up 33. That was their first week they put up 30.
I don't even think they did last year either.
Oh, last year. That's so funny. Yeah,
it's crazy. So you gotta ride with this guy, man. The offense is getting involved all around. Najee Harris is really starting to finally look like what they drafted him to be at times.
Yeah,
with Warren, they have a nice duo.
When you have Ward,
a change of pace
all on him.
When you have a nice change of pace back, it's quicker. Yeah,
and Ward's more of a receiving back. That's
exactly.
Perfect.
Najee's
you got another scapegoat for the quarterback.
Yeah, Najee's the bulldozer. But Seattle, man, has done this to themselves. They've done it to themselves. Yeah. Now they're probably going to miss the playoffs. They have to beat the Cardinals and the Packers have to lose.
A few teams have to lose.
Yeah, the Packers have to lose. They have to beat the Cardinals. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they've done it to themselves. They've kind of played into their own fate. They've lost games they should have won. There's been times Geno has not been as good as he was last season. And this is what happens. They've had some injuries here and there. They definitely, this is a winnable game. It was kind of back and forth. But the Steelers got done at the end. It's really their defense has kind of been their downfall a little bit. Like they left a 30 spot to the Steelers. Yes. Not too good. Their back end isn't that good,
Yeah, I think you need to get rid of
Jamal
Adams.
I've been hearing that he's gone after the season.
Yeah, I mean,
did he even play? I heard they were cutting him for a while. Not cutting him. I heard they benched him 1 week. I don't know if they benched him again.
I know he was going through a lot of injuries.
Yeah, maybe that's why. I don't know, but yeah, I think he's done as a Seattle Seahawk.
I mean, listen, you want to have veterans out there, but it comes to a point where he's just slowing down the defense.
He is. He's not a good cover guy. He was a good blitzer, sack guy, which is weird for a safety.
He'd be all over the
weird
field.
For a safety. Yes, he was like more of a hybrid linebacker, Palomalu type. But Palomalu could cover, and he had great hands. Yeah. Something Jamal Adams doesn't. So we'll move past that. The big topic here, Falcons-Bears. More about the Bears, about Justin Fields. The Chicago Bears have now locked the number 1 overall pick. The Panthers will have the worst record this season, so they will have the number 1 overall pick. They might finish 8-9 here, hovering around 500 after the 0-4, 1-5 start. It was a terrible start for them. What do you do here? Do you draft Caleb Williams? Do you keep Justin Fields, trade the pick? Do you draft Martin Harrison? What do you do with your Chicago Bears with the number 1 overall pick?
Ever since he's been getting back from that injury, he's been lighting it up. We've been seeing the Justin Fields we wanted to see, that we thought we were going to see all season. He's been running around. I remember there was this one play where he was literally getting tackled by 2 players, still broke out.
Ran for the first down.
Yeah, ran for the first down. It was like the best 12-yard run you could ever see.
Yeah, exactly. So it's weird because statistically, passer rating-wise, he's had slight improvements. It hasn't been drastic, but on the field, the eye test has been a lot better.
Yes, it's kind of like
Lamar. Like how we say Lamar's MVP.
Crazy, but
obviously we're not comparing him to Lamar. We're comparing how the field looks versus the numbers.
Yeah.
And DJ Moore sounds like he wants him to come back. He says, I don't see why he wouldn't be the quarterback next year.
Yeah.
I'm actually undecided on this right now. I think I'm leaning towards still drafting Caleb Williams because he's just such a, I do think Caleb Williams is a better court prospect, a little more talented of an arm talent, and you get to reset the contract for the quarterback. But I'm still undecided. I'm going to have to mull this out a little bit over the offseason.
I don't know. I kind of like him. The fans love him. At the end of the game, they were screaming, "We won!"
Yeah,
Justin,
yeah, that's what you want. I get it.
So I don't know. It's kind of like a good feel moment for him, and he's been playing his ass off.
And
he really has.
And I get it, and definitely been playing his ass off. That's for sure. But and I get him wanting to keep, like, Chicago fans want to not have a quarterback carousel. Want to finally say you have your guy. And it sounded like Eberflus, the head coach, might even come back too, which I don't necessarily agree with. Get Justin an offensive guy. I get wanting to keep consistency and continuity, though. You don't want too much turnover. They might be building something here now. They got a nice little win streak going. I don't know. I'm still reset. You get to reset the quarterback contract with Caleb Williams. He might be a better arm talent.
I get that.
You might be able to get another weapon too after in the later pick you have. So I don't know.
Well, listen,
I'm still torn. I'm not decided yet.
I really like if they keep him. You know, you got DJ Moore, you got Cole Kmet. I feel like you get a running back. Maybe you get another piece for Fields as receiver wise, and maybe you load up on your defense. And I think they got something going there. I feel like they're winning games where you think like, oh, this team kind of looks really good, you know. And they fight competitive teams, and I feel like they're kind of like a step or two away from being that team, you know?
Maybe. I think they're close. They definitely played better than I thought they were this season. I think I had them finishing like 6-11. They're 7-9 right now, so they came on a lot better in the second half of the season. Very impressive. It's going to be very interesting what they do in the offseason, though. This is one of the biggest offseasons in franchise history for them, just because they have the number one overall pick, and they have all these assets and other picks. So a lot they could do there. So
they're kind of like the Pistons, you know, going on that 20 losing streak.
Well, they have a lot more in place than the Pistons moving forward, especially since the fact that the NFL, you could turn things around way quicker than basketball. Yeah. But moving on, Jets-Browns, my Jets getting their butts kicked. Joe Flacco putting up almost 300 passing yards in the first half. Elijah Moore getting revenge on the Jets with a touchdown.
Yeah.
David Njoku has really become he's just elite. They never gave him a shot before this season, and now they've made him a featured weapon, and he's been showing. He's fast, great hands, great hair.
Listen,
great job.
The way he's been playing, I could easily put him at like my top 5 tight end right now.
I agree. I would put him there.
He's up there.
I would put him there.
I mean, I think Travis Kelce's out.
Let's do it right now. Sam Laporta's got to be up there.
Sam Laporta, yeah, he might be like, this is his first year, so he's got to be number 2. I think Kittle's
still up there.
Yeah.
Is Mark Andrews up there even though he's hurt? Do we count him though? Okay, Mark Andrews.
He's younger than Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce's
I just didn't know if we count him because he's hurt. So Mark Andrews, Kittle, Sam Laporta's had a great season.
Yeah, so he's definitely up there.
I think you got to put Njoku in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Njoku's in there. And so, yeah, great. The Browns all around.
Evan Ingram, maybe.
Ford had that crazy run where he broke multiple tackles and ran for a touchdown. So this offense has been pretty impressive, you know?
It has.
Even with Amari Cooper out. And against a vaunted Jets defense. I mean,
I was going to say that. You're going up against a pretty elite defense. You're missing one of your best targets that just had over 150 receiving yards.
260. Over
260. What am I saying? So you're like, what are they actually going to be like? And then second half they were missing Elijah Moore, so they were still getting it done, airing it out. I mean, this is kind of the offense where they don't even have to pass the ball. You have some good backs. Yeah. And you have a pretty good line.
The fact that they are passing the ball makes it even better.
Exactly.
So they've locked the 5 seed now with the Baltimore winning 2. They're making the playoffs. The first team ever to make the playoffs with 4 different starting quarterbacks in the season. Mm-hmm. I think they have a shot at the AC Championship game. I think if they played Miami, the Cleveland Browns would beat Miami right now. What do you think? How far do the Cleveland Browns go?
Well, the Cleveland Browns would have to play the Ravens.
Eventually. I think round 1, if they're the 5 seed, they would play the 4 seed, which is either going to be Jacksonville, Indianapolis, or
AFC
Houston.
Championship?
That would be the AFC West. No, I'm talking about the playoffs. They have the 5 seed. Yeah. The 5 seed will play the 4 seed. So right now, it's looking at Jacksonville, Cleveland. Who would you take there?
All the way. Cleveland.
Okay, so divisional round. Then I don't know where it would end up there.
Yeah.
But
if it came down to it, that would be a pretty.
So you think they're winning
AFC.
A playoff game?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
They're winning more than one. I've talked about it before. They can take it all the way. I think they could win the Super Bowl.
Don't disagree.
The only thing that they might have a problem with is the Ravens. That's going to be their real challenge.
They beat the Ravens once too, though. Remember that crazy game where they like back and forth at the end? There was like a pick six,
They
another
didn't
pick
even
six.
have Joe Flacco at that
Yeah,
point.
Deshaun was playing. Deshaun, they went 5-1 with Deshaun Watson. He was shaky too. So the Browns really, it's looking good, man. We've been saying this. Now we just gotta wait and see because they're locked now.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be exciting games. Exciting playoff games.
it's going to be for sure. So Patriots, Bills. Bailey Zappi was throwing picks all over the place. Josh Allen was shaky, but the Bills pulled off. The Patriots always play him tough. They beat him earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So the Bills moved to 10-6. They have the 6th seed right now, and they have a chance to beat the Miami Dolphins and win the AFC East next week.
It's a very disappointing game from the Bills' perspective. Like, this is a game where the Patriots just kept on making mistake after mistake after mistakes with the picks, with the fumbles, and they just couldn't put it away. They let it be a one-score game. It was a one-possession game. They really let it come down to that, and it's just really disappointing because the Bills' defense just isn't that good anymore.
Yeah, because they have a lot of injuries, a lot of pieces out for the season. Like I said,
I mean,
Milano, Trey White, they have problems back there.
And Josh Allen's with the picks, man. Like, I just
I know.
He's tied for he has the second most interceptions this season with 16.
Who was the first?
Heineke. No, not Heineke.
That'd be crazy for 2 games.
Washington.
Sam Howell. He's
Sam
been
Howell,
awful.
yes.
He's been awful. No, look, I think a big point in this, and you said this a few weeks ago, Bill Belichick's making a case for his resume. He's smart defensive coordinator. He played them tough last time. Like I said, the Patriots always play him tough. And he stifled Josh Allen a little bit. That's kind of what happened this game. The Patriots defense came to play. Now, think if they even had a competent offense. Would the Patriots be a playoff team? Their defense has been a little bit impressive.
I feel like they're a few steps away from that because what do you have anywhere going on offense? You have aging running back that you just picked
they're
up.
screwed. They're screwed.
What wide receivers do you have? Devontae
None.
Parker. I haven't heard his name in weeks.
They have Hunter Henry, and that's really it. Who always is hurt.
yeah.
Who's always hurt. And their defense wouldn't be this good if Belichick wasn't there.
It's just so disappointing. It reminds me of the Jets. Like, you have such a loaded defense, and you can't do anything on offense.
Don't get me started on the Jets.
A little bit more with the Jets, but it's pretty black and white with the Patriots, honestly.
I hear you, man. I'll let you talk about your Giants Rams really quick because it came down to the very end, man. The Giants made it interesting. I'll give you that. They made it very interesting. Tyrod Taylor, came to play a little bit in this game.
Yeah.
Giants offense kind of came alive a little bit here.
He did,
especially at the end. They came alive at the end. They were down a little bit. They kind of came back late. Couldn't pull it off, but maybe it worked out better for you.
I mean, listen, as a Giants fan, this was a very impressive game. Like, 2 weeks in a row, keeping it down to a one-possession game when everyone else thought it was going to be a blowout. Against the Eagles, we thought we were going to get our doors kicked in. We kept it, brought it down to the last drop.
You did.
And then against this game, like, listen, there was 2 times we should have won this game easily. When it came down to the 2-point conversion, they did something similar that the Lions did. They went for the 2-point conversion to end the game. And literally the same thing happened. He broke out to the right. He hit his running back. I don't know who they hit on the Lions, but it was just a terrible pass, and he couldn't catch it. He hit Barkley, and it was completely behind him. Can't blame him on that. Whatever.
Oh yeah, at the end,
the defense stopped them with like 3 minutes left. They got the ball back. They drove it down the field, no problem, and we go for the field goal, missed it. Game over. I wasn't as devastated as I should be. Obviously, we're going to get a better pick because of it, but it does give me a lot of hope that this team is very competent. The defense can get things done when they have to. You have some stars on offense, too, that, you can't really use because you don't have a good quarterback. I mean, Sterling Shepard is still out there catching balls downfield. You still have some tight ends there. I mean, I don't know if we're going to keep Barkley or not, but he's still a phenomenal player. If we don't keep him, we're going to get a lot of stuff for him. We're going to get picks. We're going to get players for him. Whatever it is. There's a lot of hope going with this Giants team. On the other side, the Rams, is this worrying how close the Giants kept it with them?
Not really to me because this is an NFL game. It's going to be tough sometimes. The Giants defense can be a little stifly sometimes. As long as they got the win, they got out of there. They've been red hot as far as winning. So I think they're going to be just fine. They had a tough game. It happens. It's the NFL. Mm-hmm. Like, we've seen worse. Yeah. I think they're going to be okay. I mean, I don't think they're going to make it that far in the playoffs anyway. I think the top of the NFC is too strong. But they're a playoff team for sure. Listen, they're locked. They're locked now.
Giants have a good defense, but what happens when you go up against an elite defense? Like, what happens when you go up against, I don't want to say elite because the 49ers really don't have an elite. What NFC has an elite defense.
Other than I think the Niners defense.
The
is
Niners do.
Other than that,
I
I don't know. Dallas, Dallas is a good defense. Philadelphia terrible. Detroit terrible.
Yeah.
Green Bay terrible.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of good defensive.
Wow, it's really bad.
Mainly favored on the AFC side.
Yeah.
So
Bucks is decent. Bucks have a decent defense.
So they might get away with a little bit here. I don't think they take it that far. Maybe win one game in the NFC. So how far do you actually think that the Rams are going to get? Because they have some talent.
So
on
right
offense.
now, it's looking like I think the Lions are the 3 seed, right, and the Rams are the 6 seed. So I think the Lions-Rams would be first round. So I got the Lions from that.
Wow.
So I think the Rams get knocked out.
Well, yeah, obviously I'm gonna. Well, they're playing them this week, I think, right? Is that the game?
Are they? No. The Rams play the Niners. Lions play the Vikings.
Rams
right?
play the
Lions
Niners.
But
Okay,
anyway,
that's right.
moving on. Let's get into our wild card scenarios right now. Let's start with the AFC. Right now, the AFC breaks down like this. The Ravens got the 1 seed. They're 13-3. They're a lock at the 1 seed. Dolphins are the 2 seed. They could lose that, but right now they're at the 2 seed with the lead in the AFC East. They're 11-5.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are the 3 seed at 10-6. They're a lock. They won the AFC West. The Jaguars, 4 seed at 9-7. They're only right now they're a 77% chance at making the playoffs. So they're going to need a couple things. If they win, they're in. Browns are the 5th seed. They're a lock at the 5th seed, 11-5. The Bills are the 6th seed at 10-6. They have a 94% chance of making the playoffs. They beat the Dolphins, they win the division. If they lose, they need a couple things to happen, but they still have a good shot at making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The Colts are the 7th seed right now at 9-7. They have a 54% chance of making the playoffs. And then you got the Texans at the 8th seed right outside on the hunt right now, 9-7. 46% chance of making the playoffs. Whoever wins that game this week, Colts, Texans, gets the 7th seed, makes the playoffs. I don't know. Well, it depends. They might not end up at the 7th seed if the Bills get knocked out, but they make the playoffs. Whoever wins that game. So, and then you got the Steelers at right now the 9th seed. Is the last team in the hunt. 9-7, 29% chance to make the playoffs. The main thing they need to happen is win and Bills to lose.
So
who do you think makes the playoffs? Who do you think makes the 4 seed, the 6 seed, and the 7 seed?
So yeah, like you're saying, I have the Ravens getting 1st seed. I have Dolphins getting the 2nd seed. I think they're going to beat the Bills. So they're going to be fighting for the wild card.
So you think the Dolphins win the AFC East, get the 2 seed?
Yeah.
Okay, that answers one question.
Chiefs lock.
3rd seed, okay.
Yeah. Then the 4th seed, I have the Jaguars winning their division.
So you have the Jaguars winning this week, winning the division. So the Jaguars win, they win the division.
Yeah. Obviously, the 5th seed is clinched by the Browns.
Right.
Then in 6, I have the Texans winning.
So you have the Texans beating the Colts at the 6th seed. So if that means you have the Bills, you already said the Bills lose to the Dolphins.
Yes.
So you have the Steelers winning, getting the 7th seed. So you have the Steelers making the playoffs.
Bills out. And then the 7th, I have the Steelers winning.
Yeah, so you have the Steelers making it and the Bills out. Yeah. Wow, okay. So the Ravens are a lock, so the Ravens are the 1 seed. The 2 seed, I have the Buffalo Bills, because I have the Buffalo Bills beating the Miami Dolphins, and the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC East. So I have the Bills at the 2 seed, and the Bills already beat the Chiefs. The Bills have the tiebreaker. So then 3, I have the Chiefs. They win the division. They're a lock, but the Bills have the tiebreaker over them. Explain that. Mm-hmm. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars winning their game, winning the AFC South with the 4 seed. The Browns are a lock at the 5 seed. I have the Miami Dolphins at the 6th seed because they're a lock for the playoffs. So if they lose, they get the 6th seed. Yeah. The 7th seed, I have the Houston Texans beating the Indianapolis Colts in the playoffs. I have the Houston Texans at the 7th seed. So that's how we have it finishing out. So 1st seed, I have Ravens. 2nd seed, I have Bills. 3rd seed, I have Chiefs. 4th seed, Jaguars. 5th seed, Browns. 6th seed, Dolphins. And 7th seed, Texans.
1st seed, I have the Ravens. 2nd seed, I have Dolphins. 3rd seed, I have Chiefs. 4th seed, I have the Jaguars. 5th seed, I have Browns. 6th seed, I have Texans. And 7th seed, I have Steelers.
So those are our players' predictions for the AFC. Let's get into the NFC now. So the NFC, we have the 49ers locking up the number 1 seed at 12-4. They're a lock, 1 seed, first round bye. Dallas Cowboys have the 2nd seed right now, 11-5. Lock for the playoffs. Detroit Lions, they might not win the NFC East, but if they win this week, they win the NFC East. The Lions 3rd at 11-5. They're a lock for the playoffs. They win the division. Yeah. Bucks are 8-8, winning the NFC South right now. Have the 4th seed. They are 69% chance to make the playoffs. They win, they're in. They win the division. Eagles are the 5 seed right now at 11-5. They're a lock for the playoffs, but they need the win for Dallas to lose to win the division. Yeah. The Rams are the 6 seed. They're a lock for the playoffs, 9-7. But if they lose and the Packers win, they would flip-flop.
Yeah, they would get 7 seed.
The Packers are the 7 seed right now at 8-8. 60% chance to make it. They win, they're in. They lose. Seattle wins. Seattle would jump them. Seattle has the 8 seed right now in the hunt.
Yeah.
They're a 26% chance to make the playoffs. Seattle needs Green Bay to lose. They would win, and a couple other things to happen. The Saints, slighter chance, 31% at the 9 seed. At
They
8
would
and 8.
need the rest of them.
They would need the
lose out.
Seahawks and the Packers to lose and them to win. The Vikings, very, very slim chance. They are the 10 seed at 7 and 9, 3% chance.
They would need all those teams to lose, and they would need to win.
The Falcons, so that would be 8, 9, 10. So the Falcons are the 11 seed at 7 and 9. They cannot make the wild card. They need the Tampa to lose and them to win the division. A 3% chance to make it. So,
so they got to win through their division.
So there's a chance for them to win the division. If Tampa loses and they win.
A lot of teams in the NFC that are still up for grabs.
Exactly.
This is a lot.
Yep. So who do you got?
So first one, I'm obviously clinch 49ers. Second, we got the Cowboys. I have them beating the
Commanders.
The Commanders.
So they win the NFC East.
Yeah, so that's pretty easy. Yeah,
they have the tiebreak over the Lions. You have the Lions beating the Vikings, right?
Yeah, so the Lions would be underneath them at the 3rd seed. I think pretty sure
the Bucks
win or lose this week, the Lions are a 3rd seed.
Yes.
And then 4th, I have the Bucks winning their
Panthers,
division,
beating the Panthers.
Then the 5th, I have the Eagles.
Win or lose, they're locked. Dallas wins, so they're locked.
The Eagles are locked. 6th, we have I have the Rams winning.
They play the 49ers, but they're probably going to rest their starters.
So, the whole thing behind that, 49ers are going to rest, and Rams are still a competitive team. So I could definitely see them beating the 49ers here.
So this is a tough one. Packers play the Bears. You have the Packers sticking with the 7th seed.
So this is going to be hard because, I don't know, the Bears could come in, have a spoiler, and, upset the Packers. But I have the Packers winning that one.
Okay, so you have everything staying the same.
Make it competitive, though.
They will, but I think the Packers pull that off, too. So you have everything staying the same.
Yes.
So I think I have exactly the same. I have the Niners obviously to stick with the 1.
Yeah.
Dallas, I have them beating the Commanders, sticking with the 2 seed, winning the NFC East. I have the Lions would be right after that with the 3 seed. Mm-hmm. I have the Bucks winning against the Panthers, winning the NFC South, getting the 4 seed. Mm-hmm. The Eagles, lock for the 5 seed no matter what. The Rams, I have them beating the Niners. I think the Niners are going to rest their starters. We'll see what happens there. But right now, I have the Rams winning and getting that 6 seed. And then I have the Packers beating the Bears, getting that 7 seed. So 1st seed, I have Niners. 2nd seed, I have Cowboys. 3rd seed, I have Lions. 4th seed, I have Bucks. 5th seed, I have Eagles. 6th seed, I have Rams. And 7th seed, I have Packers.
And I have the same exact thing. I have 1 the 49ers, 2 Cowboys, 3 Lions, 4 Bucks, 5 Eagles, 6 Rams, and 7 Packers.
Okay, thank God, because I had all the playoff scenarios listed out, so if things got hairy, I had everything here if we needed it. We kept it simple there, so good job there.
I'm trying to think, what team beat... Was it the Lions that beat the Packers to eliminate their chance?
Yeah, got the Seahawks in from that.
Yeah, and now look, Lions turned it around and they're the 3rd seed.
Now they don't need to play spoiler at all, and they're no matter what. I think if they win and Dallas loses, they could get the 2nd seed. But if Dallas wins, they're all locked for the 3rd seed. So good job by the Lions. All right, and our record now, I went 12-4. You went 8-8. So I've got the slight edge over you now. I'm 155 and 101, and you're 152 and 104.
Yeah. So this last week you just had.
This is for all the marbles. I know that we keep having up and downs, and it kind of was who got hot late with this. I'm noticing now because we kind of were back and forth. Yeah. I might have a terrible week again. Remember the one week I was like, 4-11? So, wow, 155, 101, 152, and 104, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so 3 games ahead of you. Last week, it coming down to the wire, like we said. And, dude, we're both like 50 games over 500. That's what matters.
Yeah.
My dad gets mad at me because we don't bet the spreads. We do the picks. But, like, that's what matters. I'm not a betting person. I don't really care much.
I'm not crazy
I
about
care
the
about who wins the game. That's what I care about. So, and that's what these teams care about. So, let's get into our final picks, our final predictions for the regular season. Week 18.
Last week of the year.
We got some people sitting, so some teams sitting their stars. It's going to be a little tricky this week, Dylan.
It is.
We'll start with the Saturday games, and with the Saturday games, we start with Steelers at Ravens, 4:30. Who do you got? The Ravens sounds like they're sitting their starters. That's what Vegas thinks, at least.
Yes. I mean, why wouldn't you? At this point, let's just talk about it, because why... you clinch the 1st seed. You got people that could get hurt. It's happened before. And you got, what's after Lamar? Lamar's your most important person. So why wouldn't you sit him?
And he's gotten hurt at the end of the season, so you don't want him to get hurt. You want everyone to be
a running quarterback.
I'm scared.
So it's possible.
I'm scared to rest him because of all the momentum they have going, but you have to. You have to. Even though I don't want to, you want to keep them going. They're red hot. You don't want to stop them, but you have to rest.
Maybe
them.
do it like a like a preseason game, like start him for like a quarter and then take him out.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a drive, like exact. I was thinking the same thing. So if that happens, I got Steelers.
Yeah, same thing. Steelers are, fighting for all the marbles, trying to, they got to win out and having some other things happen.
And you got Steelers in the playoffs because of that.
Exactly.
So that's big. That's big. So the 8:15 game Saturday night. Texans at Colts. We both got Texans. We've said this already. I just think the Texans have the better quarterback, the better coach, the better team. Give me Texans.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting. They're both fighting for a playoff spot right now. I have the Texans winning this too. I mean, it all comes down to C.J. Stroud. We saw what he was without C.J. Stroud, what the team was without him.
And what they are with him. They dominated again last week. Huge part.
So if he's starting, hopefully, I mean, nothing's happened, but make sure that kid's healthy.
Yeah, he looked pretty healthy last week, that's for sure. Jaguars at Titans. We both got the Jaguars winning the division, and look, they should control this game. I know it's an AFC South battle. Vrabel will make it look interesting, but I think Trevor Lawrence prevails here. He's the better quarterback. Jags win.
Yeah,
it might be close.
Jags win, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be making any noise in the playoffs, just the way they've been playing.
We said they're going to get knocked out by the Browns.
Yeah,
first round. They're going to be 4 or 5 seed. And that's probably
they win, but I don't know. You got to have a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. So let's see if they can do anything.
Let's see. Vikings at Lions. We both got the Lions winning, right? Mm-hmm. Lions winning, sticking with the 3 seed, winning the NFC South. They already won. The Vikings, we just don't know what's going on. The quarterback is a carousel. I kind of feel bad for them a little bit since Kirk Cousins went down. But,
I mean, he's still there. I mean, last week he was there blowing the horn.
Yeah. So he's getting pumped up. The big thing about this is I think the Lions are playing all their starters, so the Lions are going to win this game. So, Dan Campbell announced
I mean, they have something to play for at this point. They're trying to get the better seed.
Yeah. Well, because they still have a shot at the 2 seed, correct.
Yes.
Falcons at Saints. I got the Saints winning this one. The Falcons have had an up and down season. So have the Saints, but this isn't going to be enough for the Saints, but I do have them winning their last game.
I don't know. The way they were playing last week, they destroyed the Raiders.
They did. Raiders. Who did they play? Now you got me all thrown out of a wedge. The Bucks. And they played the Bucks.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And we were both surprised about that too.
I was very surprised about that.
Baker did not play good. That defense can be good at times.
Do you keep Derek Carr at this point? Just the way he's been playing.
I mean, you signed him for a lot of money, so you probably need at least one more year. You get a lot of that.
You're right.
Maybe try him with a different coach. I don't know. It doesn't seem like this coach is going anywhere.
Chemistry gets a little better.
Maybe
you got a new coach in there.
Hopefully,
new offensive coordinator. Something because at times this offense looks hot. And at times it looks ice cold.
Yeah. So
I don't know. They got a lot to figure out. Maybe I don't know if they even keep Alvin Kamara.
Well, this was a disappointing season because we all picked them to win the division and they've disappointed. Derek Carr used to be a top 15 quarterback. Now he's looking like he might be a backup eventually. So not looking good for the Saints, but we got them winning here.
One more year.
Well, give them one more year. Jets at Patriots. I got the Patriots. Look, they've been red hot. The Jets don't look. Their offense is pathetic, especially with the carousel quarterback. Is Zach Wilson playing? Is he not playing? I don't know. I don't care. Give me Patriots.
I mean, there's nothing really to get into.
Nope. Bucks at Panthers. Same here. Bucks at Panthers. I got the Bucks winning the division, winning this game. Baker Mayfield getting back to the playoffs. Give me Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks all the way.
All the way.
Panthers are kind of just pathetic.
Yeah. Browns at Bengals. This game doesn't mean anything because the Bengals are out and the Browns are in. I don't even know if the Browns are resting their stars, but if they do start their players, I'll get Browns on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
We'll see what happens, but if they start their stars,
Joe Flacco's old, man. You see what happens with these old quarterbacks, so I don't think you even start him.
At the same time, do you want momentum because he's rusty?
He came off the couch.
Exactly. So is he rusty? Yeah, that is true. Though.
I think he's fine.
So you think they rest their players? So if that happens, who you got winning? I got Bengals if they rest their starters.
I got Bengals.
Okay.
I mean, listen, Amari Cooper was hurt. I think you give him another week, he'll be fine.
Okay, so if the Browns rest their stars, I got Bengals too. I agree.
Yeah, but listen, they shouldn't be starting their starters.
They should. I guess you're right. I guess I agree with you there. Amari Cooper's banged up. Elijah Moore, you said, came out of the game. Flacco's old. I gotta agree with you.
Defense-wise, how does that work? They still take him out, right?
Yeah, they'll take him out. They'll take him out. Yeah, especially like Myles Garrett and players like that. They'll take him out for sure. Bears at Packers. This is a tough one. The Packers played them week 1, and I guess they played the last week. Last week, very weird. But the Packers controlled that game week 1. I don't think it's going to be similar to that. I think the Bears have came a long way since then, but so is Green Bay. They got a lot of nice young players. I'll take the Packers here.
I'm taking the Packers here, but I don't know. The Bears could come in and spoil them because the way they've been playing, it's pretty phenomenal.
They could play spoiler here, and that'd be really unfortunate for the Packers.
This is going to be giving the Packers a lot of momentum. If they win, they'll have a lot to look forward for and looking forward to the playoffs. So I don't know. I got the Packers here, but this should be a good game, divisional game. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers had this thing where he always he has the Bears numbers and he would always beat them. So
maybe Jordan Love's on that same wavelength. We'll see.
Let's see if Jordan Love's got
or
it
maybe
too.
the curse has been lifted that Rodgers is gone now. We'll find out this Sunday. Cowboys at Commanders. I got the Cowboys winning the NFC South, securing the 2 seed. What do you got?
I don't know. The Commanders are just pathetic.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to get into.
Really went downhill after.
Cowboys still have a lot to play for. They're still going to be wanting to get that first seed. So
okay, so Broncos Raiders. This one's
Second
kind of
seed,
tough.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, second
Yeah,
seed. Yeah,
second seed.
I knew what you meant. 1 seed for the NFC East. So Broncos Raiders. This is tough for me. I've went back and forth a little bit, but I'll go Broncos here. I think Jarrett Stidham runs this offense pretty well. I like what Antonio Pierce has done for the Raiders, but they're kind of limited with Aiden O'Connell quarterback.
Before we even get into that, I think we forgot to mention something. What's going on with Russell Wilson? Because
we didn't talk about it last week. He got benched.
Didn't.
That's true. We had an episode right before it came out that he got benched.
Exactly. So it's been a whole week.
It's kind of weird. It sounds like a money situation. Like if they bench him here and if he stays healthy and passes a physical, they don't have to pay him like 30-something million.
Yes.
And it sounds like they just don't want him to be the quarterback anymore. I told you it sounded like Sean Payton doesn't like him. It's looking like I'm right.
Yeah, but like the way that it came out, like Russell Wilson had not a press conference, but he was talking to a reporter about it, and he was completely transparent with it. And he told him exactly what happened.
After the Chiefs game, they want, which is a weird timing to be doing that.
So
I guess
he was kind of like defending himself against like his own coach.
He's trying to save PR. Yeah, I get it, but
save PR. He was going against PR. That's kind of messed up. Like,
well, I mean, he got benched and they don't want him anymore. So I get it. If you're not wanted, like, why support them?
The coach, Sean Payton, told him unless you sign like. You waive your.
But you signed the contract. Why would you waive something that you signed a contract to? You know, it makes sense.
So Sean Payton was kind of being a thug.
Yeah.
I heard he was like trying to be like a thug in there.
He was trying to force Russ. He knew Russ was. He probably knew Russ wasn't going to agree with it. So then he had incentive to bench him. Okay, you're not going to listen to me. And that boom.
So do you think that came up from further up? Like the owners are saying.
No,
like,
Sean Payton's running the show there, and this was never going to work. He doesn't like the way I'm hearing from the circles of the NFL. People that watch the all 22 tapes, that there are open receivers over the middle of the field, and Russell Wilson just can't see them, and he's not too short, and he's too short, and he's too scared of the rush. His eyes drop all the time at the rush, and he's just not seeing open guys down the field, and he's ad-libbing too much. Like he's relying too much on rolling out and trying to make a play, and that's good sometimes, but you need to run the play that's given to you sometimes.
So what happens with Russell Wilson after the season?
Atlanta is a big possibility. I'll put Atlanta or Washington. Atlanta or Washington.
There's a lot of teams.
He's a starter. He's a starter somewhere. He's good enough to be a starter. So Atlanta or Washington, watch out for those two names. Yeah. But who you got in this game? Broncos, Raiders.
In this game, I got the Raiders.
Okay. It's going to be close. I went back and forth. AFC West showdown.
Yeah, no, the Raiders have been playing good football ever since they got that new coach, Pierce.
Former Giant. You love that guy?
He is making a case for it to be a coach next year. So.
He is. He really is.
So he's going to want to win this game.
Eagles, Giants, and I picked the Eagles the last couple of weeks, and they've lost every week. I'll go Eagles here. I said last week they need to bounce back. They really need a win and some momentum going into the playoffs. They're still playing for the NFC East, technically. I'll go Eagles. So you got your Giants.
Listen, the way my Giants been playing, that the defense has been making stops. They stopped the Rams last drive. The Eagles have been not playing convincing football, and I think they hold them here. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be a spoiler, but it's going to be going into next season. Like, it's going to be a feel-good win, you know? Their defense has been pretty good. Tyrod Taylor has been running this offense pretty good.
When he plays, yeah.
Yeah, he's been running around, you know.
Interesting. So you have a hot, spicy take, Giants winning, get the momentum going into the next season, beating the Eagles finally, which has not happened of a lot of recent memory.
No, it hasn't.
And I see what you're doing here. You need some victories over me to come back in the standings hunt. So you're picking some.
Got to switch it up.
You're like, why not pick my Giants?
Trying to pick the upset.
So Seahawks, Cardinals. I'm gonna go Cardinals here. They looked really good last week. Seattle has kind of biked themselves in the rear end at times. I think Kyler Murray is just gonna be a handful for that Seahawks defense. So give me Arizona.
I mean, if there's any shot for the Seahawks to win, I don't know, like, the time situation. Are they going to know by the time?
I don't know, because I think they play at 4, and Green Bay plays at 1, I think, so they might. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure. I can't guarantee that my time is right.
We'll figure it out, but I have the Seahawks winning here. They're going to be playing for a reason. They're going to be playing with conviction.
Even if they know they're out, they're still going to try to play to win that last game. They're not getting a high draft pick at this point. You're going to play to win.
It should be an interesting game, though. Cardinals play good football.
Yeah, NFC West battle. It's going to be close, and I just think think Kyler is a difference maker, and we'll see this game. It's going to be. I think it'll be closer than people think. Yeah. So Rams 49ers. I think the 49ers might sit their stars. You said McCaffrey's already not playing, right?
He's already out.
I'll go Rams here. I think the Rams lock up that 6th seed with a win here.
Yeah.
Give me Rams.
I'm going Rams too.
Okay.
I mean, Rams play good football.
They always play good football.
And against the 49ers team without all their starters, Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
I
like Darnold, but
Darnold plays good, but
he's not Purdy, and if Kittle and Debo and Ayuk aren't out there, what are you really going to be doing? So I get what you're saying there. Chiefs at Chargers. I'm going to go Chiefs here. The Eastern Stick is just not going to be able to handle that Chiefs defense with Chris Jones and everything. Give me Chiefs.
Yeah, I completely agree. Chiefs all the way.
Okay.
I don't know. Chargers might play good football too because they
Gift Smith, new head coach. We'll see. But
they've been playing pretty good.
Chiefs need to get some momentum.
Brandon Staley.
The defense has been a lot better. Chiefs need some momentum going into the playoffs, so they need to get something going on offense here. Maybe get Rice. Start to get Rice. I mean, they've been getting Rice more volume, but try to get Rice even more momentum.
Use Pacheco. That's the whole thing.
Or save Pacheco so they don't hurt him going into the playoffs. I don't know. It's tricky.
They lose this game,
Week 18 is tricky. That's why I don't like setting fantasy football championship to Week 18. People sit their starters. Who wants to be playing a championship game and, Josh Allen sits? Not this season, but you get what I'm saying. Speaking of Josh Allen, this is the most important game of the week. Sunday Night Football for the AFC East. Bills, Dolphins. I got the Bills winning this game. I think Josh Allen is going to be the difference maker in this game. When the stars are bright and the lights shine brightest and the pressure hits him most, I think he's going to finally come through. He's going to will his way to the playoffs. I think James Cook's going to be a factor here. Give me Buffalo.
I think the key factor here is Bills at Dolphins.
Yeah, because when
Dolphins are going to be home, they're not going to be in the cold Buffalo weather. They're going to be in their own stadium, and they're going to be coming off this hot loss against the Ravens. They're going to want to prove that they're still a hot team. They're still a good team. Josh Allen has just been folding too much. Too many interceptions. They almost lost to the Patriots. So if the Dolphins defense hold up, I think they could win them. Maybe I don't want to say a blowout, but maybe by more than a touchdown.
So the Bills have some injuries on defense, but I do think their defensive line is still a little bit underrated. And what did they do last time they played Miami? They got to Tua, they pressured them up the middle, and then Tua struggled to make throws out of the pocket. And I think if they're gonna win this game, they're gonna have to do that again, and I think they do. And I think James Cook is gonna be a difference in this game. They're gonna run the rock, and Josh Allen, the play action, is gonna make big plays down the field to his 2 tight ends. So give me Buffalo.
Well, listen, if the Dolphins get the running game going, get Achane going. I'm
not sure Mostert's coming back this week.
I don't know if he is, but Achane fills that.
Got
role
Jeff
just
Wilson
fine.
too. So,
yeah, I haven't heard his name at all.
I saw him have 2 carries. Regardless, it's Achane's role. Yeah. So
okay, well listen, it's gonna be an interesting week.
It's gonna come down to the wire, man. I don't know if we have
best week of football.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any victory. I don't know. We don't really have a prize or if either of us win. I guess it'll just be bragging rights going to the next season after the playoffs. We'll have a little playoff bracket going on. We'll pick the games. But all right, week 18. In the books. Like, subscribe, share, going into the playoffs. We got our first regular season in the books. Thanks, Dylan. Congrats with everything, man.
Yeah,
we had a long season going on, like 6 months, and 6 months since we started in May, June.
It's a long season, man.
It really
Once
is.
you actually break everything down, it's long.
The grind is tough, but this is what we've been waiting for most. We've been waiting for playoff football and playoff scenarios, and it's finally here. So we'll get to that next week. So thanks, Dylan, again. See you next week.